Peace and blessings. What's up, my spiritual booze? This is Brianka, aka Unique Wildflower. In this video, we'll be talking about my spiritual journey, and this will probably be like a series because I don't want them to be like long-winded videos. So you know what I'm saying, I might just keep that for my story times, but for spiritual journey, spirituality, how did I get into it, I'm gonna make these into parts. So I hope you all will enjoy this video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section how do y'all feel about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. How did I get started on my spiritual journey? I would say it started when I was 18, but it's been happening for a long time. From what most of I remember about my childhood and my adolescent, teenage years was like, I had very bad codependency issues. I had very bad like emotional neglect as a child. So I used to like get in trouble all the time because I would have temper tantrums in the classroom and just like throw chairs and all that shit. But a little backstory of my childhood. So at 18, I think that's when I really started to become aware of a lot of things around me. Like I started to question religion and question spirituality as a whole, and questioning Christianity as a whole as well. So I didn't start becoming deep into my spirituality until I was 21. At 18, I was more so like awakened, so to say. And I started questioning the church, like the church that I used to go to as a child, that I grew up in. Because, you know, typical black people, stereotypical, we go to church, we grew up in the church, so all we knew was the church, some of us, and Christianity was the thing, or baptism, so to speak, because most of the black churches are Baptist. So I denounced myself as a Christian back in 2018, because I went to a church when I was in school, and the pastor started talking about gay people, the LGBTQA community, and I was just not here for it. I literally walked out because he was being petty. Being a post-college grad and seeing how far I've gotten and how far I still have to go, it's been a very whirlwind emotional journey, because once you become spiritually aware and self-aware, mainly self-aware, because a lot of people out here are not self-aware. And even if you're aware of the good things about you, but once you become aware of the negative about you, there's no going back. Once you notice the patterns in your family, the emotional generational trauma in your family, once you become aware of all that, there's no going back. That's why when it comes to black people and mental health is the biggest thing to me, because as a child I never understood why I was so angry. I never understood why nobody understood me. I never understood why I didn't have any friends. I always felt alone. At that age, like I would say at 16, that's when I hit the peak of my depression. You don't really notice because you're a kid. You don't know nothing about depression because your family don't even know what that is. Your parents didn't tell you what it is. Some of us out here didn't have parents that understood how to cope with a death in the family. Because I lost my father when he died in 2012 from cancer. So at that time, my mom was very depressed. I didn't start noticing it until I started processing my childhood traumas. And that didn't start happening until I got in my 20s. Because at 18, you're just at the peak. 16 and 18, I was at the peak. But then once I turned 21, that's when it hit the fan. Like, basically, I was hanging out with people that was showing my shadow side of me that I never realized. And the negative connotations, the negative actions, like especially when it came to family and friendships that I had at that time. And so I feel like my belief system really changed. Like, not saying that I don't believe in God. I believe in God because God is me. God is me. I don't believe in a God in the heaven. I believe God is within me, because after a while of going through my deep depressions, my darkness, my obsessions, and then coming into my awakening after all these years, I've had to deconstruct the way that I thought about spirituality and the way that I thought about God. When it came to thinking about God, I asked the question, well, what is God to me? What does God look like to me? And I still feel like God is me. I'm transitioning and saying God as they or she. Either way it goes, people gonna know who I'm talking about. So I didn't really start noticing myself until I was 21. That's when I really noticed the family trauma that I have in my lineage, which was depression. My mother's depression was very angry. And the thing about it is, people don't realize depression is not always sadness. When it comes to my lineage, depression is anger, is resentment, is not being able to express how you truly feel without people talking over you, yelling at you. At that age, it was so hard for me, because once I lost my mother, my life really did a whole 180. I was homeless, more so getting support from friends and people on my dad's side of the family more than my mother. And that was like a rude awakening for me. Like, that really shook me to my core, my family dynamic. And then once I realized how much I had to work through, I was saying this, I had to work through my pain. I had to work through grief. I had to work through the fact that I wasn't able to tell my mom like how I truly felt about her, or we never had the discussion of what happened in my childhood. I was never able to get that. And also going through the irritations and anger towards my family, towards friends, that the closest friends that I had, I still had conflict with them as well. So it was a very hard time. So then 2018 was really when it really got deep. I went through a whole process. Imagine being in school and being homeless at the same time. So I had to figure out ways to stay on campus to go to school. And even through those times, I really feel like those were my tests. Those were my biggest tests, to see how much I believed in myself, to see how much I believed in God. Because I remember when I was 16, I had my first suicidal attempt. I wrote my suicidal note. The next thing I remember was I heard a voice in my head just was like, give me a chance. I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen after you turn 18. Give me a chance. Just make it till you're 18. Yeah, I was so depressed. I was like literally going through. And I'm not saying this to make myself feel bad or feel sorry. I'm saying this because I'm realizing how much I've grown through to get to being 25. So in 2018 was like my biggest year, because I was still going through a lot of karmic situations. Like, not even the universe putting me through it, I put myself through it, because that's when I realized how self-sabotaging I was. Like, 2016 and 18 was my reckless years, because I did everything, not everything under the sun, but I did most that I wasn't supposed to do. And just thinking about those times, and thinking about right now and how blessed I am to still be here, because it's a blessing that I'm here. I've always had this feeling that I was meant to do something. And even as a kid, I had the biggest imagination, like, because I've always been that person that loved to help. I enjoy helping people. I enjoy giving people advice. I enjoy knowing that some way, somehow I changed somebody's life just by speaking my truth or talking about my truth. And realizing the shit I've been through with letting go of toxic people, letting go of toxic best friends, but also not even talking about external things that I had to let go of, but internal things. Because people outside of you are showing the negative connotations that you are showing to yourself, but you're not realizing it because some people really do not have that self-awareness. The thing that you don't like about somebody else, you do it to yourself. So I had to realize the people that I was around were showing me parts of myself that I ignored or suppressed. So when I still had those ex-best friends, they were showing me the negative sides of me, which I could do silent treatment. I could not communicate. I could never take accountability for, and I had very bad codependency issues. And not only that, I was a people pleaser. And realizing that outside of me, people were showing how much of a people pleaser, but also selfish they could be, but also manipulative. And then realizing that I have those same traits inside of me that I try to shun away or shame away. I still have a little bit more insecurities, but who doesn't? I'm human. But yes, so it's all about self-awareness. Once you are aware of self, and you're willing to work on self, that's when your spiritual journey starts. And I'm talking about, y'all gotta, it is not about all love and light. It's really not. Don't let these white people think it's all love and light. It's always about the darkness, because without darkness, you can never have the light. If you don't go through the storm, how you expect your flowers to bloom? You start to realize that the shit that people do that hurts you, they're already hurting. So whether you dealing with a relationship, friendships that you know you have the feeling that you no longer need, let that go. I'm telling that for myself too, because I'm not perfect. I still go through my traumas. I still go through my triggers. I'm still working out the kinks. I just want to be able to share my story to help motivate people into understanding themselves, and not only understand yourself, overstand yourself, and accept the shadow side of you, because ego will literally make you sit here and think you know it all. So I've had to go through a lot of humbling, a lot of breaking down, a lot of crying, to get to this point to where I'm able to talk about my spiritual journey. For a while, I've had people just like tell me, I appreciate you preaching and telling your story, or I appreciate you talking about this topic because that's how I've been feeling, that's how I've been thinking. Like, I've always had people tell me some way, somehow, I helped them in a way. And like I told my friends, I'm nothing but a reflection of what I show you that you could be. That's all people are just reflections of yourself. But I'm also working through my spiritual journey to get to know myself better. That's it for today. I will make sure to let you guys know when I'll post up my next video in this series. Let me know how you guys thought about this video. My question to y'all is, what is your current chapter in your spiritual journey? And how do you feel about it? But like always, this is Brianka Hills, aka Unique Wildflower. I hope you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe. time you watch this. I hope you all have a blessed day, evening, or night. Peace and blessings. Ashe.